Even the far right-wing politicians in the UK are contacting Elon Musk, who's Donald Trump's liaison, and saying, all the things that you're doing right now, all of your social media posts, you saying things like free Tommy Robinson, who is a far right-wing extremist, hateful person who even the right-wing Reform Party in the UK distances themselves from. They're saying, Elon, Donald, stop. You're actually hurting us. We know you're trying to prop us up, but by doing this, it is backfiring. So let's talk about what's been happening here. So Elon Musk has been sending a barrage of social media posts trying to meddle with UK politics. And many believe he's about to give a massive amounts of money to the right-wing UK Reform Party. In these 60 posts, he attacks the Labour Party Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. He defends an anti-Islam convicted individual by the name of Tommy Robinson. He accuses a finance minister or a minister in the UK of engaging in like aiding and abetting pedophile gangs. I mean, horrific conduct where people in the UK are like, Musk is not a popular figure there. And they're like, stop it. This is actually harming us. So let's break it down. Let's talk about who Tommy Robinson is. Let's talk about what Elon Musk is doing. So among the 60 posts that Musk has made are posts like this: free Tommy Robinson, free Tommy. Why is Tommy Robinson a solitary confinement prison for telling the truth? He should be freed, and those who covered up the travesty should take his place in that cell. And then he releases Robinson's hateful and false documentary. And I'm going to go over who Robinson is just so you understand what an awful human being this is, that even the far right wing in UK want to distance themselves from this guy who's been found in contempt of court. Elon Musk shares it and says worth watching, right? So it's obvious, in my opinion, that Elon Musk's whole purpose, I don't think this is even controversial, of purchasing Twitter and making it X was because he wants to meddle in all of the far right wing politics and push them to create this instability across the globe. Here in the United States, MAGA. In Canada, the Conservative Party there, Pierre Poilievre. In Germany, I mean, this is a much far right wing in Germany. The AFD, you see him giving statements in support of the AFD there. In the UK, the Reform Party. This is happening across the globe. Elon Musk, a big supporter in Argentina of Javier Milei. And we see this kind of unity of far right-wing movements taking place. So this was the post that he made in Germany. Only AFD can save Germany. In UK, he's doing the same thing. Only the Reform Party, he says, can save the UK. So this is what he said about a minister in the UK. Jess Phillips is a rape genocide apologist. And he's responding to this account, Lord Talbot, that says, meet Jess Phillips. She is the safeguarding minister. She has refused an inquiry into Muslim grooming gangs. Can someone tell her she's supposed to be safeguarding children, not the gangs? And this account goes, Elon Musk is out of control and a danger to British society. How long before some deranged lunatic acts on this kind of incitement? Keir Starmer must take a stand against him. This is from Bloomberg, how UK right wing warns Trump ally, warns Musk and others that your posts are going too far and it's harming us. And for example, Nigel Farage is out there saying, all right, dude, I think you have he's saying it in a British way. I think you have a misunderstanding about who Tommy Robinson is. So here's what the article on Bloomberg says. Several prominent Brexit supporting politicians with links to Trump spent this past week warning their Republican counterparts against following Musk's endorsement of Robinson, saying it was a step too far, according to people familiar with views of both the Conservative and Reform UK parties, who requested anonymity discussing behind-the-scenes communication. They declined to publicly name the British politicians involved. Musk, who is set to play a key role in the Trump administration, began 2025 with a volley of posts on his social media platform X, stating that Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, should be freed from jail where he is serving a sentence after pleading guilty to contempt of court last year. The purpose of the conversation was to provide additional information to senior Republicans about why Robinson, an anti-immigration activist — I hate when they call people like that activists, just call him an anti-immigration fearmonger — who has a string of criminal convictions, was not supported by more mainstream British right-wingers, including the Tories and Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, the People said. The Conservatives and Reforms declined to comment. Farage, a personal friend of Trump, whose own political career has been built on an anti-immigration stance, has sought to portray himself as the acceptable face of the British right, repeatedly distancing himself from Robinson. In 2018, he quit his former party, the UKIP, saying it had an obsession with supporting Robinson, who he condemned as entirely unsuitable for party politics. Robinson is currently in prison after admitting breaching a court order by repeating false claims about a Syrian refugee. He has previously been convicted of a range of other offenses, from mortgage fraud to assault and traveling to the U.S. on another person's passport. Farage, who Musk has also repeatedly endorsed, would not benefit from being linked to Robinson, the British politicians told their U.S. counterparts, according to people familiar. The Reform leader in July finally secured a seat in the UK House of Commons at the 8th attempt and has promised to mount a credible challenge at the next vote, due by mid-2029, in order to break up the historical stranglehold that Labour and the Conservatives hold on the UK parties of power. The outreach by British politicians to their US counterparts was triggered by the latest foray by Musk into British politics. Since Prime Minister Keir Starmer won the UK general election last July, the close Trump advisor has regularly criticized the new Labour government, called for a new election, and urged Britons to back reform. This week, Musk sent a string of posts about a child sex abuse scandal in British towns, in which many of those convicted were of Pakistani origins, including stating that a Labour minister, who I mentioned earlier in this video, should be jailed over the government's handling of the issue. You see that he said much more than that. However, the talks between the British right-wingers and their Republican contacts shows Musk's posting is not just becoming a headache for Starmer, it's harming the right-wing people who Elon and I guess Trump are trying to prop up. From The Independent in the UK, they write, Keir Starmer must hold his nerve. It won't be long until Musk slips. Donald Trump's first buddy, Musk, has reignited his on-off feud with the UK government, accusing the Prime Minister of having failed to tackle a historical grooming case, demanding that Jess Phillips be jailed and a new general election be called. Fortunately, says John Rattal, most British people will resent this unwanted interference. And so this is an important thing to point out as well. Reform Party UK Exposed posts this: Elon Musk has now registered a company in the UK called XAI London Ltd. They ask, is this the newly registered company that Musk is going to use to send money to Reform UK through? So let's show you this video right here. This is of Reform Party member Nigel Farage, saying that I just don't think you understand who Tommy Robinson really is. Here, play this clip of Farage.
He's very supportive of me. He's very supportive of the party. He sees Robinson as one of these people that fought against the grooming gangs. But of course, the truth is Tommy Robinson's in prison, not for that, but for contempt of court for the third occasion. But I mean, equally, there are people in Britain who think that Robinson is a political prisoner. That's the narrative that he's pushed out. That's how he earns his living, but it isn't quite true.
Would you accept Robinson as a member of your party? You quit UKIP over the association with him last time.
No. Look, Robinson has been to prison many, many times for many, many things. Mortgage fraud, passport problems, you name it. He's got his own campaign. We are a political party aiming to win the next general election. He's not what we need.
Here's a clip of Richard Tice, whose Reform Party may be about to be funded by Musk, condemning interference in British politics by foreign billionaires. Play this clip.
Yeah, but we all live in this country. We pay taxes here, so we've every right to be involved in democracy here. This is a foreign billionaire who is trying to destabilize and overthrow one of the greatest democratic democracies and governments in the world just to suit his own ends, as he has done elsewhere in the world. He has no right to interfere.
Here's Tim Montgomery, who has defected to the Reform UK from the Tories, the Conservative Party, says he thinks Elon Musk is going to donate $20 million to the party. Now, he said that back on December 18th or so, 2024, and that kind of predates Elon Musk giving some of the posts that I just shared with you that Musk has made in the new year. Here, let me show you this.
But the $100 million was for America, a country 5 times as big as us. I wouldn't be at all surprised, though, if he gave the order of $20 million, which is unprecedented in British politics. And I think it probably will happen. Why I think it will probably happen is Elon Musk has clearly got the bug of politics. He's enjoyed and he's committed to what he's done in America, and he made a difference. And so I think he has an ideological affinity with reform, which is part of what motivates him.
So I recently found out that only 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy. Why is this alarming? Well, the single biggest predictors of how long you live and how good you feel while living is your metabolic health. There are lots of factors contributing to the metabolic health crisis, but the good news is that all of them are within our control. That's why I'm using Levels to better understand my own metabolic health and what I can be doing to improve. In the short term, I use Levels to optimize my energy levels during the day and manage weight. In the long term, I'm thinking about the many chronic diseases that are directly linked to metabolic health, including diabetes, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. Unlike calorie trackers, Levels is a health improvement app that uses AI-powered food logging and habit tracking like exercise, sleep, and nutrition to give you actionable insights for meaningful change. With continuous glucose monitoring and lab tests available, it offers a more comprehensive view to help you hit your health goals and stay accountable. There's so much information about health out there these days, and Levels helps you figure out what will be most impactful for you to focus on to improve your health and reach your personal goals. I personally learned that I was eating foods that were not supporting my health. Levels helped me optimize my meals, focusing on the foods I respond to best. For example, I learned that my morning oatmeal was not ideal and was actually causing me to feel lower energy after eating in the mornings. Level helped me learn by adding protein and fiber to that meal, I was able to make it much more balanced. Levels is the best place to go to get a comprehensive view of your health, hit your goals, and stay accountable. Right now, Levels is offering our listeners an additional 2 free months of the Levels annual membership when you use our link, levels.link/Meidas. That's levels.link/MEIDAS. I don't know how long this offer will last, so if you've been interested in learning more about your metabolic health, now is the time to get started.
So here's what we know. Tommy Robinson is in jail for contempt of court because he repeated false claims against Syrian refugees. It's not a debate. It's a lie, and he tried to use it to foment anger and hatred in British society for political gain. And it does appear that Elon Musk is doing the same. This says Stella Creasy as well. And when you go into Robinson's background, it is a history of racial hatred and violence against Muslims, against Islam. This is someone who's been convicted of assault, dating back to 2005. With respect to his girlfriend, he was sentenced to 12 months then. 2011, convicted of assault for headbutting a man in Blackburn. 2010, convicted of using threatening and abusive behavior. 2012, use of a false passport. 2012, mortgage fraud. 2017, convicted of contempt of court for filming inside the Canterbury Crown Court and making prejudicial statements during jury deliberations. 2018, jailed for breaching reporting restrictions. Financial woes in June 2022, admitted gambling away £100,000 before declaring bankruptcy. In 2018, falsely accused a Syrian refugee boy of having attacked 2 schoolgirls after the boy was assaulted in a bullying incident. The 15-year-old refugee had been attacked and subjected to racist abuse while Robinson misrepresented these situations online. In 2021, he was found guilty of libeling the refugee and ordered to pay £100,000 in damages, along with an additional £500,000 in legal costs. And then he has the movie called Silence Film. The film continued to push defamatory claims about the refugee. And on January 1, Musk tweeted the full movie, endorsing it with the quote, worth watching. In July 2024, Robinson was arrested at the Channel Tunnel under the Terrorism Act of 2000 following his Unite the Kingdom protest in Trafalgar Square. He was later released on bail but faced contempt of court charges for screening silence despite the High Court order, and then found in contempt. And supporting Robinson only fuels the cycle of hate, division, undermining justice and accountability. So we see that's going on right there. But again, we need to think about pro-democracy in global terms. That's what we're trying to do here at the MeidasTouch Network, because the threat of authoritarianism, of far right-wing extremism, it's global in nature. We're seeing that across the world. That's why we want to provide that education here on the MeidasTouch Network about what's going on. It's why I'm covering what's happening in Canada, what's happening in Germany, what's happening in the UK, what's happening in Austria, what's happening in the Netherlands, what's happening in Australia. I can go on and on. We're making that an important focus of our coverage here so we understand the links. This is all linked together. And do you see what's going on here? Billionaire oligarchs linking with right-wing authoritarians to entrench the oligarchy. And they're using culture wedge issues as the wedge, as the tool to do that. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Help us get to 4 million subscribers.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at meidastouch.com/newsletter.